Good morning, children. How are you all? Hope fit and healthy. So let us continue with chapter 4 of history, the Mughal Empire. So till now we have studied about 6 great Mughals starting from Babur. So the first great Mughal was Babur. After Babur, Humayun came on the throne. Humayun was the eldest son of Babur. After Humayun, Akbar, who was also known as Akbar the Great, came on the throne. Akbar was the greatest ruler of the Mughal Empire and the greatest ruler of India. He followed religious policies and Rajput policies which we studied in the previous video. Akbar was succeeded by Jahangir. Jahangir, meaning of Jahangir is the conqueror of the world. His name was Salim. Prince Salim came on the throne as Jahangir, conqueror of the world. Jahangir was succeeded by Shah Jahan. And the last great Mughal was Aurangzeb. So we will study about Aurangzeb in detail today. Let us study about Aurangzeb. In the previous video, I already explained you that Shah Jahan had 4 sons: Dara Shikoh, Shah Shuja, Murad Baksh and Aurangzeb. Aurangzeb defeated all his brothers and imprisoned Shah Jahan and crowned himself. So he was the last of the great Mughals. Aurangzeb's reign was from 1658 to 1707. That means 49 years he ruled as a great Mughal. He was also known as Alamgir. Alamgir, the meaning of the word Alamgir is conqueror of the world. So Aurangzeb was also known as Alamgir, conqueror of the world. As I told you, his reign was from 1658 to 1707. So he ruled for 49 years, same as Akbar. Akbar also ruled for 49 years. Aurangzeb was an orthodox, God-fearing Muslim. So he followed a very simple life. He lived a very simple life. Due to his simplicity, he was known as Zinda Peer. Due to his intolerance policies, he became very unpopular and pushed his empire towards decline. Aurangzeb died in 1707. This was all about great Mughals. We studied about Babur, Humayun, Akbar, Jahangir, Shah Jahan and Aurangzeb. Now let us come on to Mughal traditions of succession. Succession means taking over the throne. So Mughals, they did not believe in the rule of primogeniture. What does primogeniture mean? Primogeniture means eldest son inheriting father's property. So usually the eldest son used to inherit father's property, but Mughals, they did not believe in this rule, primogeniture. Rather than primogeniture, they believed or they followed Timurid custom of coparcenary, inheritance. That means coparcenary means division of property amongst all the sons equally. So the Mughals, they divided the property amongst all the sons equally. I hope you understood the meaning of primogeniture and coparcenary. What is primogeniture? Eldest son inheriting the throne. And what is coparcenary? That division of property amongst all the sons equally. So Mughals, they followed coparcenary rather than primogeniture. Now coming on to how were the relations of Mughals with other rulers. Let us see how were their relations with the other rulers. The Mughal rulers campaigned constantly against the rulers who refused to accept their authority. That means the rulers, those who did not accept the authority of the Mughals, they had to fight a war with the Mughals. But they developed friendly relations with those rulers who joined them voluntarily. Example, Rajputs. This we studied in Akbar's Rajput policy. Do you remember, children, Akbar's Rajput policy? Yes. What were the Rajput policies of Akbar? Akbar extended a hand of friendship towards the Rajputs. If he fought a war with the Rajputs and he won, he never used to humiliate them. He used to treat the Rajputs honorably and gave them the territories back. Akbar married Rajput princesses and princes, and even his sons married Rajput princesses, and the Rajput women, they were allowed to follow their own religion. He also gave important positions in his empire to Rajputs like Raja Man Singh and Raja Birbal. So all these were the Rajput policies of Akbar. This is what we are studying, that how were the relations of the Mughals with other rulers. They constantly campaigned against the rulers who refused to accept their authority, and they developed a friendly relations with those rulers who joined them voluntarily. Now, as I told you that the Mughals fought with those rulers who did not accept their authority. After defeating those rulers, the Mughals, they returned their land back to them. They treated them honorably. They did not humiliate them. So the lands which they used to return back to them, those lands were called as Vatan. And those lands were given to them back as assignments. So they were called as Vatan Jat. This helped Mughals to extend their influence over many kings and chieftains. Children, that's all for today. We will continue in the next video. Thank you and have a nice day.